In this edition of the program, we're talking about the necessity to give priority to technology, information and communication technology, to be more precise, in the educational system of the country as a result of the, within the context of the technological advancements sweeping across the world today, with several African nations, including Cameroon, still somehow behind, moving at a slow pace, according to many analysts. We're looking at the absolute necessity to give technology the pride of place in the educational system of the country, and we spoke to an expert in that domain. Frederick Tcheuleu is the chairman of the board of trustees of 7 International University. Stay with us. Engineer Frederick Tcheuleu, thank you for accepting to talk to Equinox Television on this issue, which is very important at this point in time in this technological age.
It's a pleasure. It's my honor to help people to understand what technology is and why we should jump into technology. It's an honor for me to be with you.
Right. So tell us, how important, how crucial is it for Cameroon, and not only Cameroon, but other African nations, to adapt to the fast pace at which the world is moving today in terms of technology?
You know, it's no more a question of should we. It's no more a question of is it important or not. It's imperative. We don't have any other choice. If we are really expecting to develop Africa, to change things, to impact people's life, the only way to do that is through technology. That's the only way, for many reasons. Because if you need to drive change to go into develop country, like other countries did before, it's taking time, it's asking a lot of money, and we don't have that money. Our population is keep growing, and it's growing so fast that if you need to address people's challenge, to address people's problem, you need to use tools. You cannot do the same thing and expect a different result. Change, the growing of population is coming with a lot of challenge. And today, maybe there will be other solution, but nowadays, the only way to have a better way to improve people's life, to give access to a common world, is through technology. That's the only way. And
so in a nutshell, technology is almost indispensable today.
Today, technology is vital. It's not, as I said once again, it's not a question of, and for Africa especially, people will think that technology is very important for modern country. No, technology is far more important and vital for Africa than for others country. For many reasons, when you need to change a country, you have 3 axes. The people, which should be educated, which should understand the process itself, which should be in place, and then the tools, which are the technology. The first part, the people, is the education. You need to educate people. But when we are seeing modern countries, most of the time they have the process already in place. You understand? They have the process. People are committed on what they are supposed to do because of the regulation, because of the various rules in place, and which are respected. In our country, you still need to educate people to respect this rule. You still need to put the process in place. And to control all that, due to the constraint we are having with the environment, the poor road, the poor quality for mobility, and so on, you need technology because you need to have more control. You need to speed up the access. That's why you need technology far more than modern country. Understand what I mean?
Right.
And if an example is extremely better. You know, when you are in France, Austria, or in Switzerland, for example, if you have to do a paper, sign a paper at the city council or the mayor and so on, you will drive there in a few minutes. Even if you are going so far, you will take the rapid transit or you take the metro and you are there, right? And even if you need to fly, you have solution. So everything is close to you because the country is modern. And there are a lot of SLA, a lot of rules, the bribing and so on. They have control on that. And their system are strong. When you are in Africa, even to move yourself is difficult. So it's far more easy for you to go on a website, request a document, or drop information they are expecting. The system will do the checking and you will download the document you are expecting without moving from your house. Because it's not easy to move from your house to go to this place. You understand? That's why you need to look for, remember, for hospital. We have some innovation actually in Cameroon in terms of health tech, right?
Healthcare.
Health tech. I don't want, you can call some name like Waspito and so on and so on. You have this solution on the market. Can you imagine the number of people that solution is giving access to health service? Imagine that you need to drive to see a doctor somewhere. It's sometimes before even reaching there, and that poor quality of everything. You need technology solution like Waspito to reduce the distance, to speed up the access to this service, which are something you can't live without having access to a medical service. You understand what I mean? The technology is taking over a lot of industry. And in Africa, let's look for bank. How many banks do we have in Cameroon, for example? We have around 20 banks, right? What the penetration of the market? You have less than 20%. Less than. You have some fintech, digital bank. In less than 2 years, they're having 10 times the customer some bank had succeeded to have after 20 years. You understand? You can take some example like Ijara, Pay Unit, and so on. See how today Ijara is more than 200,000 customers. In how many years a bank, traditional bank, had succeeded to have that number of customers? Financial inclusion, giving access to people to financial service. Look, Orange Money, M10 Money, and all these solutions. You can have a wallet, digital wallet. It's a bank. Look the number of accounts they have and compare it to the number of people accessing traditional financial service. Technology is the key, and it speeds up everything. It's speeding up everything. Without technology, personally, I'm extremely sure that Africa cannot have access to development and so on. And look, seeing the population we have, see the impact, the penetration of mobile phone. Without technology, how can you tackle the distance we are talking about? And that's why we need to have more institution training people, training them well, giving them appropriate skill to create technology, because we are at the area where we need to create solution, to create technology. We cannot more be consuming, because our need is so diverse. Our needs are different from what others countries are having. So we cannot just be copying and using what others are doing. We need to create our own solution. We need to be part actor of this.
You would certainly tell us more about the training part of it, because that is very, very crucial for us to have manpower necessary to drive the technological development that we want to see in Cameroon and other African nations. But first of all, let us have your assessment of the level of technological progress, in Cameroon and other African nations. What is your assessment of the level at which Cameroonians, Africans, African governments appropriating these technological advancements?
Personally, I like to analyze on the economy around technology. What's the economy? What we call the digital economy. Yeah, in terms of comparison, right? Today, following the last report of institutions like Patek and so on, Nigeria, which is our neighbor, right? Nigeria is raising, because when you are talking about innovation, technology, and so on, there's a big part which is people investing into technology, okay? Because technology and digital solutions are creating a new market. And this new market is being supported by investors, right? And the more you are having solution, the more people are jumping and using the technology solution we are creating, the more you are having investor. So a good way to analyze how we are moving into technology, how we are adopting technology, is to see the amount of money the country is generating around technology, okay? In terms of comparison, Nigeria per year is raising more than $5.2 billion per year around technology. Mean that the startup creating, the service people are proposing, and the money venture capitalists, banks are investing on this solution and service. Okay? Francophone Africa, I mean the entire Francophone Africa, we are raising less than $400 million. Less than 400. When Nigeria alone is raising $5.2 billion, billion, okay? That means we are not yet creating enough solution and service into digitalization. But we have some premises. We have some effort which have been done. Some company in Cameroon, for example, even you have some good examples from a government company. If you take an example like CNPS, the National Security Insurance Fund, which is one of the most digitalized company or administration in Cameroon. That company alone is extremely digitalized, and we are seeing the impact, the number of people they are able to save, how they are speeding, how they are improving the quality of service people are receiving from that company. That's the impact of digitalization. You are seeing mobile money, orange money, and so you are seeing the level of money they are manipulating. That means there is something coming up. Before I called some of the startup, Waspito, Ijara, PayUnit, and so on. These startups are generating a lot of traffic, okay? Means that there is a good start, but it's not yet enough. Especially when it's come to Cameroon. I like to compare ourselves to Nigeria, because I think that we are extremely similar to Nigeria, with more advantage than Nigeria. Because we have two languages, right? We can address Francophone African market while addressing English-speaking country. You understand? When Nigeria can just do English-speaking. So I believe that Cameroon should become a startup nation. Startup is all this company, just new company, starting using technologies to bring the change, to bring innovation into various domains. That's what you call a startup. It's company using technology to bring a great innovation in a sector. I believe that Cameroon should be a startup nation.
What are some of the challenges hindering the progress, technological progress, especially in the Francophone African countries? What are some of the major challenges slowing down the process of technological advancement?
We used to have this discussion. We have a lot of group, people are talking about this, and there are a lot of argument and reason behind that. Some people will say that, yes, it's a matter of how you call it? People don't like the change. People are not, the adoption rate is too too low, too slow. That why is what is preventing technology to be, But as I used to explain to my student, driving the change, pushing the adoption of technology is also part of the innovation process. That's why I can say that the most critical problem, I will not say is the regulation and so on, because in the world, in the history of innovation, innovation is always before regulation. Regulation is reacting when innovation is showing the way, is creating, exactly. So, for me, the question is, why are we not having enough innovation? Why people, engineers, are not creating solutions? Why? It's not because people are not using solutions. Because to convert people into technology user is a part of the change. It's a part of the business. You understand? And it's the most important part. We used to explain that it's 80% of the work. 80% of the work of an engineer or a solution provider is to convert people, to help people to adopt the solution, while 20% is the technology itself. It means that people are not well trained in order to bring technology solution and then to convert people. For me, the most important thing.
What about infrastructural challenges? We have a very low internet penetration rate in Cameroon, very poor internet services, and all of that. The fiber optics is not the best in Cameroon, and as of now, we have only Camtel that is supplying fiber optics, but the problem of infrastructure seems to be a serious hindrance. Is it?
It's a problem. You need more infrastructure. You need better quality of internet in order to help people to adopt the solution. But once again, you need to take into consideration this challenge when you are creating innovation. You understand? You need to understand the limit people will have to access your service. And you need to take it into consideration when you are innovating. I will not say that we have a good quality of internet. I won't like people. We need to have better, even when we are going in Senegal, in other African country, even in Francophone country, most of the time we have better quality of service, right? But are we creating enough innovation with the limited service we have now? That's the question. And my answer is no. We still need, look, if internet is not good, how many services are we creating using SMS? The same technology you can create using the internet, even in mobile apps, which is hosted on the data in a data center. You can create the same solution using SMS. We had a solution 3 years ago called Gifted Mom. Gifted Mom was a solution created by Alentef based on SMS. And that solution had impacted people's life a lot. You understand? How many solutions do we have using SMS? And then we need to convert more users to serve more people. And at that point need more bandwidth, more internet. How many? Not enough.
Right. So let's talk about the training part of this whole issue. Your institution, Seven International University, is focusing on technology, driving the technological development of the African continent. What more should be done in terms of training offered in higher institutions of learning? There is still a very big gap between the training that is offered and exigencies of the job market, exigencies of the practical world.
You are touching many important points, right? And we had created an university, SIU, to address a problem. As I said, the way people are trained, the way people are, Africa is deadly asking tech skilled people. A report of the World Bank is stating that before 2030, Africa will need more than 200 million tech-skilled people. That's the need. And is not able, even if SIU is training, I don't know how many people, we can't sustain that, understand? And there is no company, in each industry, we need tech-skilled people. So the problem of job availability, access to job, is not a problem for me. The market needs more than what we can supply. Understand? The question is, are we training people using the appropriate syllabus? Are we giving them the right competence? Are we connecting them to their ecosystem so that their change, their innovation are taking consideration of the limit, the constraint of the environment? Are we training engineers as they should be trained? Or are we duplicating the kind of training, the syllabus, the content, we are just copying from elsewhere, and at the end, even with the degree, the graduate or the engineer is not able to create something solving a problem of his environment? That's the question. For me, in terms of job opportunities, you are at Equinox. I am sure that if today at Equinox, you definitely need a lot of tech experts. In terms of cybersecurity, in terms of software engineer, in terms of project or product leader, and so on. You need people at Equinox now. And I can guarantee you, you will be able to pay any real expert, any real tech expert. Because a good engineer is bringing value. The more you are bringing value, the more you are paid. That's simply the question. As I am an entrepreneur, and for the past 20 years, I've been working and providing service to many different industries, oil and gas, insurance, bank, and so on. So in all these industries, the most critical question is real expert, well-skilled people. Understand? And you are always able to. You will always be able to pay someone which is well-trained. The question is, are we training people to solve problems of the environment? The answer is no for now. And that's what we are doing at SIU. We decided to do project-based learning. Engineers are trained to solve the problem of the environment. So that if I send one of my students at Equinox, he is understanding Equinox ecosystem. He is able to bring a solution that will be a game changer at Equinox. That's what we are doing. And that's why we are saying that we are talking about creating solutions. That's software engineering, right? That AI, that machine learning, data science. But another part is cybersecurity. Actually, I can guarantee you that much of the company you can't imagine the number of cybersecurity attacks they are having per day or per week. Not coming from someone sitting in Douala or Yaoundé or in Bafustam or Bamenda. Most of the cybersecurity attacks are coming from China, from Israel, from Russia, every single day. So this company, this bank, all these people jumping into digital banking service, they need cybersecurity engineer. But they need well-trained people. Are we training people and connecting them to the constraint, the challenge of the environment? That's the question. And to do that, you need to have real experts which are working on the field, which are understanding the constraint, how the technology is evolving, and which are able to adapt this constraint of the market to the syllabus they are given to any engineer. If you are not doing that, you are just losing this time. And that's why people are believing that they need to travel to go everywhere to study. We believe that in Cameroon, in Douala, you can access the same level of training at Stanford or MIT in the United States. 20 times, 10 times less expensive than that. And connect to your ecosystem, understanding African-based bank, achieve a CN-based challenge, and be ready to solve this challenge. I believe that. And that's what we are doing.
We'll certainly have this conversation in a more elaborate context some other day. Thank you so much for accepting to have this conversation with us.
It's a pleasure. I am always open and available when it's come to help people to understand more, to understand that technology is there to impact people's life, to help people's life to live better, to access, to work better, to produce more. I'm always available. It's our passion. Our motto at SIU is forging the technological vanguard of Africa. We believe that Cameroon should be at the forefront of innovation, and for that we need to train people better. We need to connect them to industry challenge, and I will always be available to give more, to push the understanding of people.
Thank you very much.